Hey guys, and it was kind of loud at the beginning, but hey, welcome to this week's Marvel Chat Live. I have with me two really awesome ladies. I have Morgan from Teaching Disney up here. Yeah, I was right the first time. She's on this side of me. And then down here, I have April from Thirsty Nerdy Mom, and they're both big Marvel fans like I am. And this episode 4 it is of the Falcon and Winter Soldier had so much going on. I just finished it and I'm like kind of overwhelmed, to be honest. There was just so much that went on in this episode. And there's only 2 episodes left. Can y'all believe that? Like, that's crazy to me. There's only 2 episodes of this left. So overall, let's start with Morgan. Overall, Morgan, what did you think of this episode? Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Kind of where you at? With this episode.
So I thought it was the best episode to date. I think it had a lot packed into it. I don't want to give too much away yet, because I don't know if we're there yet. But I thought it was.
Sorry,
but I thought
to show you.
It's okay. Just mouth and pretend you're me. But I thought it was one of the better episodes that they've put out so far.
April, what's your like overall first thoughts? Loved it, hate it? I know you've really had strong emotions about some of our other ones because you are the biggest Captain America stan probably I've ever met in my entire life. Yes. So what did you think? Is this one up there for you in episodes?
It was a really good episode, but like the number 3 is probably my favorite. Just because you really get to see like personalities and stuff like that. But this one was a little bit more dramatic, I think. Like, it brought the drama and we needed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. As Jonna Claire says, she's really behind. I just finished the episode. As Jonna Claire, I literally put it off to the last minute. And I was like, oh crap. And now I'm so behind. But yeah, it was a lot to take in. I think, have you seen only 2 episodes of Jonna Claire? But yeah, so we'll go ahead and hop into this episode. A lot was going on. So it kind of picked up right where we left off, like exactly right where we left off from the last episode. Where Bucky was talking to, she's the princess, right, from Wakanda. It was her dad that was killed, right?
No.
I still haven't seen Black Panther. Who is this? She's from Wakanda, but
she's from Wakanda, and she is like the leader of like the King's Royal Guard.
Gotcha. I made a note. I should have watched Black Panther before the series, but I didn't.
I didn't expect whatchamacallit to be in it. So that was really fun for them to pop in there.
I feel like I overall understood. Like, I understood why she wanted Zemo, right? Like, I got that part. So I wasn't like, it's not like WandaVision where I was like, what? But yeah, no, I probably should have watched it because I was kind of confused. But I liked too, that little flashback of him in Wakanda and like that kind of relationship that he has with the people of Wakanda. And that, I thought that was a really good detail. Do either of y'all have anything y'all want to add on about that beginning? I feel like I can't speak as much about it because I feel like I'm kind of lost on the Wakanda stuff. But do either of y'all have anything?
I'm not surprised that they included it, but like surprised at the same time. Just because it was such like a little thing, like it was an end credit on Black Panther. So I didn't necessarily expect it to be there, but I understand at the same time. But I'm wondering if maybe we'll get like a Black Panther cameo.
Maybe.
Well,
yeah.
I know some of it was filmed a little bit before he passed away.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of hopeful. And then I know they did reshoots after that. So it's kind of up in the air, and I would love to see like a cameo. That would be like such a beautiful thing. Yes,
They
yes, yes,
dropped
yes. I
Suri's
did.
name in there, so that kind of leads me to think that she's gonna be. It makes me hope that my theory that she will be the new Black Panther is correct now that Chadwick Boseman
That
is
would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that y'all had stuff to add to that because I did not. I'm still behind on Black Panther. I'm sorry. I was hoping with the series. I'm like, I'm finally caught up in like all the main shows, and then they got to throw something in there where I'm like, well, I know a little. Okay, so kind of going off what April had mentioned about last episode being her favorite episode, I think last episode was up there for me. It was it was a lot. There was a lot of tension in the last episode, but I loved Zemo. I loved the addition of Zemo
Yes.
into the show. It was something I didn't even know I needed in my life, but I needed it, and it was so good. And he came back, and he was wearing his jacket this episode, which I don't know what I love about that jacket so much, but it just like his little strut. It makes him. He's just a character, and he's such a good addition. But he creeped me out at the beginning when he was singing that Black Sheep song, the Black Sheep, and he was approaching the children, and I was getting so creeped out. They did a really good job with that scene and like making it creepy. But it was so cool. I that was one of my favorite scenes of him. I feel like all of his scenes are good to me. Like him talking about, your TT would be proud, and talking about the kid. And like he's just, I don't know how to even explain that guy. But what did y'all think of Zemo? Like early on in the episode, did y'all like, I don't know. Like I thought he was going to betray him really early on in the episode because when he got that information from the girl about the funeral, I thought he's going to like something's going to happen with him early on. And then it kind of didn't happen. But what did y'all think was going on with all that?
That's what I thought. I've been waiting for this whole time for him to like just betray them and backstab them and like escape. And I've been waiting for it, and it just hasn't come yet. So I thought that, this is going to be the moment. This is when they're going to backstab them, and this is when this is when he's going to make his move, and he's really going to be the power broker and all this stuff. I have so many theories, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. What about you, April?
When he like whispered over, "Don't trust him," I was like, he's going to turn. He's going to turn. And Steve honestly looked at me and said, "No, he's not turning yet." And so he was right. And I think he really said that like later on, figuring out, he said that just so he can keep that information and like stay alive until he can kind of make his escape.
I loved his character, and I think in this show, and I think you said it, April, too. Were you the one in the chat that said that he's becoming one of your favorite villains? I know Loki's probably always going to be your favorite, or was it someone said that in the chat? Morgan. Me. Okay.
Morgan said it's her favorite.
He is now my favorite villain ever.
I haven't seen all of Loki, so I cannot say because I know Loki's up there. But yeah, I love how he's like we were just saying, like kind of like a survivalist. Like he knows, like I gotta keep my earn my keep here. I gotta get this information. I gotta keep being valuable to the team. And I thought that was perfect. But yeah, for sure. Like, and I loved how they played it off where they were like, "Oh, he's gonna turn. Like, he's gonna backstab him," and then it's like, "Oh no, he's just using it."
I have a feeling he's gonna try whenever the Flag Smashers finally come crashing down and burning, because it's gonna happen. I just have a feeling it's gonna happen. Carly is not a strong enough leader to continue to lead this group as it evolves. She'll get like power hungry and something bad will happen. I have a feeling he's going to try to step in and be that that leader for them to go against the Avengers in the end.
I don't know. I always give your theories a lot of credit, Morgan, because on WandaVision you were always correct and I was not. So I can't, I'm not gonna, I don't know. I really am confused by him right now. I've only seen, what movie was he in again? Was it Civil War? He was the one that caused the Civil War, right? I've only seen that one time. Okay, so I don't know. And maybe I should hate him more than I hate him. But I kind of want him to have some, like, I know he probably can't get a redemption story because he probably did enough bad where there's no redemption story there. But I feel like, I don't know. I just want, he's so entertaining. I just want him to, like, stay around.
I feel like he's the one you want to hate.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. But one thing that was interesting about him, one line was, okay, when they were he was talking about the serum, right? And he was talking about, like, he didn't believe there should be any winter soldiers. Like, he didn't want any of them. And then Sam was like, well, what about Bucky? Like, what does that mean about Bucky? And that, to me, I was like, well, like, I don't know. It's just that moment. I don't know, like that. My little head was like, I'm trying to process this, and like this means something. I don't know, like
I don't want to know what it means. I have a theory about what a lot of people have theories about what that's going to mean later on, and I don't want any of them to be true.
I don't know. April, you were very reasonable a lot of times. I don't know. Help my brain because I'm very confused about Zemo and the direction of Zemo.
I don't know. They show so much more of his personality this time, and I'm really, really digging it. He did have a little bit of a redemption in Civil War just because he was doing this because they didn't save his family. And, I mean, that kind of pulls at the heartstrings a little bit, but, like, you see him being, like, just a little bit goofy with the dance scene, which, if you haven't seen it, Marvel Entertainment put out, like, a solid hour of it, like, where he's just dancing, and it's great. But I think he is getting a little redemption, but with Marvel, you always get that little, like, you like him, and then with Loki, he's like, he just turns. And I feel like Marvel's setting us up just like they always do. You really, really, really want to like him, and then, nope.
Jake says he needs to be on Dancing with the Stars because he would win.
I fully agree with that, Jake. And when that show comes out,
it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those people, though. I was telling Morgan before you got on, April. I'm one of those people. I feel like I always look for the good, and I always like feel like I want a redemption for people, and I want to see the good in people. And yeah, a lot of times it's not there. Or they twist it on you. But I mean, I'm hoping for that 1% that Zemo comes through and maybe we'll like get a tiny bit of redemption or something, or at least I don't know, something good with him. I don't want him to be like the villain overall for this show, but I mean, maybe that's the direction.
We got a lot of villains right now.
Yeah, we do. Okay,
but
so,
I have a feeling.
Go ahead.
He is really against super soldiers, and he will not ever let that go down. So I think there's going to end up being a showdown between him and Bucky, and I don't think one of them's going to make it.
I don't know. Okay,
really sad.
April, you can disagree with me, and if you want, I'm gonna say my thought on that. I just don't think they're gonna put him against Bucky. I don't know why. I feel like I don't know. I just want them to be. It's like, why can't we be friends? Like him and Bucky. I just want them to be like good, and I don't know if they ever will be. Maybe I'm just delusional, probably so, because I just like love seeing them together. But I felt like that could be why Sam was saying like, well, what about Bucky? Because, they've been working together, like kind of hostilely, but, and I know there's a lot of kind of bad blood there, but I don't know. I don't see Zemo taking Bucky down. Personally, I don't, but I don't know as much about this series as you two do. I'm very new. I'm probably very naive on that topic. So April, what do you think?
See him taking Bucky down because he could have in Civil War and he didn't. I just don't. I see it like the climactic thing being him and Kylie. I can't think of her name. Carly. Sorry, but I see like that one being the big one. I really think he's the power broker, and he was developing the serum to like destroy the serum. Maybe I'm not sure, but I think he's the power broker.
Morgan,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think he's the power broker.
Who do you think is before we move on? Because I don't remember who you said.
The power broker.
Okay, that's who I think too. But I don't know. You said something earlier that made me think that you didn't think that.
Well,
and I was like, maybe we're on a different page.
Originally, I thought it was going to be Zemo when they I knew he was going to be in the series. I was like, oh, he's going to be the power broker. Like, absolutely. But when they said that the power broker was asking the scientists to develop the serum, I knew right then and there he is not the power broker, because Zemo would never want that serum reproduced. He would never want more super soldiers in the world. That would go against everything he stood for. And then for him to kill the scientist and then the power broker is mad about it. I don't.
Well, he destroyed those serums too when he found it, and to me, that's why I kind of feel like it's not Zemo personally. I just feel like he wouldn't want more, even if it was to just destroy him. I feel like Sharon, I think, is still a valid one. I was convinced we were going to get a reveal for Sharon this episode. I swear, when they were cutting to her and she's going through these security, and she said, she said she was talking about, the power brokers, and talking about the power broker and knowing all this insider stuff, and I'm like, Sharon, you know a lot about.
Just has a random satellite she can just access and find things.
Yeah. Well, and then it makes sense too. She's helping them right now because she wants to get those serums back.
Whatever she's doing, whatever she is right now, she's definitely in cahoots with the power broker in some way. If it's not her, he knows who they are and she's working with them. And I'm convinced about that she is definitely in high places. Because if she was just in the dirt, barely getting by, of course she would go right back to America as soon as Sam said he would make it happen. But for her to say, no, I don't want to go back there, and for her to be living the life of luxury wherever she is, I wouldn't want to go back either.
Yeah, Jake says that Sharon is being suspicious and he doesn't like it. I agree. I'm not the biggest Sharon fan overall, but I don't know. It feels weird to think that she would be on the wrong side of this, if the power broker, I don't know. At this point, I don't even know who is on the wrong, it's everywhere. I'm assuming Zola. Oh, Zola's from Wakanda, right? Is that right?
No, he was in Winter Soldier. He was the computer.
Oh, that guy, the doctor,
the Nazi guy? From yes.
Oh, I didn't like that guy.
But I don't think so. I think he was destroyed when Cap kind of destroyed the whole bunker.
But he was a computer system. He was computer system, so he could, kind of like Ultron, just jump. Yeah, and we hadn't discussed that, so we're going to discuss that later.
That's a good theory. I had no idea who you were talking about at first. My brain is exploding right now, for real, exploding. I had a note. There was so much going on in this episode with the tension between, of course, Walker. Hey, Christina. Thanks for hopping in. With the power broker. We're on the power broker now. With, Walker and Lamar, and then Sam and Bucky. There was a lot going on with them this episode, a lot of tensions. One note I made, because of course I pay attention to everything Bucky says and does very intently, is him saying he's not my partner about Sam. When Walker keeps saying he's your partner, and he's no, he's not my partner.
Well, I think that goes back to Steve, because him and Steve were partners, and he's not. I think in his mind, if Falcon's not willing, if Sam's not willing to pick up that shield, he's not willing to say he's his partner. Until he's ready to assume that role, he's not going to say it, because he's still kind of mad at him. I feel he's still kind of. He brings it up every episode. He brings it up. You gave him that shield.
The shield. The shield is a very sore spot for him. Wait, who was it this episode? Wait, was it I think it was Carly who said that she wanted the shield completely destroyed. And I thought, well, girl, Bucky is not gonna let that. You just try to destroy that shield. You just try. Bucky. Because that just, I don't know, that shield is such a symbol to Bucky. Like, it's just everything to him. And I was like, girl, you're gonna have to go through Bucky if you want to destroy.
But I do
destroy
agree.
That shield.
I do kind of agree with what she's saying. It's no longer the same symbol that it was in the 1940s. It's now, it needs to change because the world has changed. And whether it's the person holding it or the person or the shield itself, something about it needs to change. And it can't just be a replica of what they used to have, because clearly that's not working.
Yeah. Really quickly, April's fiance, Steve, had a point. He said, and this is going back to Zola, he destroyed himself. He kind of cheated because he said that they said he would make a cameo. I'm assuming you're talking about Zola. Because
yes,
yeah, I think that'll be a flashback with Bucky, that cameo.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I feel like that would be such a big spoiler if it was like he turned out to be, that would be a big spoiler for it to be a cameo kind of thing. I don't know. That's just what my thought would be. Okay, the next thing I had on here, which if y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, just go. I just had like little notes through the episode. I put that Walker ruins everything. That's like what, because I love that exchange between Sam and Carly. I thought they were making good progress there, and Sam was really kind of getting through to her, obviously, because he understands, I think, a lot of where she is coming from. But like that part where, and I'm sorry if y'all can hear it, my neighbor's cutting grass. If you can hear that, it's like a little I'm sorry. But yeah, that part where he gets her to say, she says, I would do it again. Like, they were in my way, I would kill him again. And then she realizes, she like listens to herself, and she's like, well, that sounded worse than I thought it would sound, coming out of my mouth. And like, he kind of like uses that almost like reverse psychology on her to be like, you got a good fight here, but like you're going about it maybe the wrong way. And then stupid Walker had to come in, as Jake said. Walker has no patience. Absolutely none. He really annoyed me most of this episode. Like, probably this was his most annoying episode for me, I think.
I think he's really used to, now that I've rewatched the episode a few times, I think he's really used to always getting his way and always winning and always like accomplishing something. And I really want to know his backstory. Like this big event where he won all those medals that they keep referring to as like his moment of loss. Like, that's what they refer to. And that's what I think they're trying to draw the parallel to that as being his moment of loss compared to Cap's moment of loss, where he was like, he kind of lost Bucky in a sense, but which I totally knew that was going to happen, by the way, for the future. But I just don't, I just feel like we don't know enough about him for me to really feel for him. I think he's just being a jerk.
Let me just say, before we get to April, because I know April probably has a lot of strong emotions about Walker.
Very strong.
I will play devil's advocate a little tiny bit on this one. I may get some hate for it. I do not like Walker. Let me be clear, at all. Do not like him at all. But I will say, I think he's power hungry. I think there is the point. What?
Steve,
oh, Steve. As a bad guy, I like Walker, but man, he's got some big old ears. There was a part where I literally was thinking, because he's Kurt Russell's son and Goldie Hawn's son, and I love both of them as actors, and I kept thinking, go Wyatt, good for Wyatt. He got a good role, like a pretty big role in Marvel. I just thought about that, like in the middle of the show, but I don't know. I really like, I have like the tiniest bit of sympathy for him. Very, very tiny. But I do that. Almost every character, not every, but almost every character I feel that way for. I feel like he wants, there was that scene kind of to what Morgan was talking about, where they were talking about Afghanistan, him and Lamar. And, he was talking about, like, they were both talking about they wish they had the serum because they could have made a bigger change. And I feel like he just wants to be, he wants power. He wants to be the hero so bad. I feel like he does have good intentions, maybe deep down in there. But I felt bad for him about the Lamar situation. I did. And I don't, we'll get a little bit more into the ending when we, as we go through. But I'll say, I don't think he was right in where he went with it at all. But like, I felt for him when Lamar died. I will say that. I felt a little bad for him because they went to Afghanistan together. They went through the war together. And that was his friend. And, I feel like he was probably the only person who could semi-talk reason into Walker.
Yes.
So
conscience, definitely.
He was the only one who could kind of like pull, like kinda, not even really a good, good job of that. He tried to pull him back, but yeah. So I will say I'll play devil's advocate for a little bit. Say I felt a smidgen bad for Walker. But overall, I don't enjoy the kid. Like he's not a super good guy. I wouldn't put him in a good guy category. I think he's too power hungry to ever be Captain America. But go ahead, April. I know you probably have some very strong.
I'll try to reel it in. So Steve and I have discussed that there was a rumor going around that John Krasinski was considered to be Captain America before Chris Evans. And we're like, well, why didn't they get him to play? And that's exactly why, because you would love him. And Marvel wants you to hate him. Marvel really wants you to hate him. Yeah. And so that's why they chose Wyatt, in which, I mean, good for him for getting a big role and stuff like that. I will keep it PG. I promise. But I feel like he is a good person, but war has kind of jaded him. Like, and that's the thing about the serum. It like enhances things, like even with your mind, and he's just jaded. He may have been a war hero and thing like that, but he's jaded, and that's where it's different in between him and Captain. Captain didn't have that. I went through war and all this bad stuff happened. He was just willing to lay himself on the line. And I think that's where it really is with him. I'm not happy what America did. If they would have put him in another like superhero role, I would have been fine. But it's all the government's fault. It has been the government's fault since Civil War, and just very aggravating. I have no words sometimes.
I think he's very used to like winning the war, winning whatever like being the best. And the fact that he's not the best right now and that these bad guys keep getting away with it is really gets to him, and like gets to him in a bad way, not in a way that because even that fight between him and oh my gosh, I can't think of their name, but the Wakanda people, he says they can't even have the serum and they just kicked my butt. Like then why do you need the serum? Why can't you just take that and be like, instead, like, I felt like that was his moment where he could have, because he had already taken the serum at that point. He remember that one little vial? Stole that vial. And I think he was on the fence in that moment of taking it. And rather than going the route of they don't even have the serum, they're kicking my butt, let me go back and make myself even better. So like just on my own, so I don't need that serum. He just decides to take the easy route out. And I feel like whenever you want to take the easy route out, it never ends well.
Yeah. So do we do think though, because I know sometimes they put things in there subtly. So we do think he has taken the serum by this point, right?
Yes.
Because that part. Okay. Yeah. And I do think too, that is part of the reason maybe we had that bigger reaction at the end of him like go, because it just the anger, like with Red Skull, it amplifies. Like when whatever you have in you, it amplifies it. And for him to lose his best friend that he went through war with literally right after taking the serum, I mean, I guess it just skyrocketed for him.
In that moment of that fight, that he slowly you can tell something's changed, and that he's also slowly losing his mind, I feel, in that battle scene, because everything's so enhanced it was kind of like Cap when he first took it. Like everything's enhanced. You can hear better, you can see better, you can probably smell better, but they never go over that. But like everything's enhanced. So he's just like, he's just focused on what he's doing in the moment and focused on finding his best friend and doesn't realize the repercussions until later on.
Yeah. To kind of go ahead, I mean, I know it's at the end, to kind of go on and just continue talking about that fight, because that's what, you know, kind of where we're at. I thought it was a very well done moment at the end, because this is a person who's wanted to do good and wanted to be seen as a hero and wanted to, like, you know, live up to that war hero name, but like actually do something he felt like was worthy of that, you know, like he was saying with Lamar. And you have it at the end where he's just, you know, he kills that flag smasher, and then he looks up and everyone's filming him, and like it's just, you know, like I feel like that was a good moment, because that was the moment, like to me, I took it as, you know, no one's going to see that as him being the hero. I mean, maybe they could, I guess, because that was a flag smasher. But I just, to me, I was like a monster. A mask. Huh?
That flag smasher he killed, Carly's whatever
boyfriend, or
he
I guess
never wore a mask. We never saw him put on a flag smasher mask. Even in the second episode when he's helping Carly on the plane, he is not wearing a mask.
Yeah. Well, I just think it was, I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was a good moment, because it kind of, like, he thought by taking the serum he would get what he wanted and he could do good. And then he just like lost his mind and ended up doing the opposite. And, you know, I don't know how they'll play it out next episode. I mean, they could go the route of saying he killed a flag smasher. They could go that route. I don't know. But I took it as, my first reaction was, it's going to go, like, I mean, the government could try to cover it up and do stuff, but like he got the opposite of what he wanted at the end of the day. He became what he didn't want to become. He became a bad guy. So it was very, like, there was just a lot in this episode.
I gosh. Use it as that. I think he's very proud of what he did, because he holds his head high. He tightens that shield and he stands there with it, with all the blood falling off. And even right before he goes to decapitate him, when the guy's screaming, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. There's a moment in that where he pauses and he thinks, is this really what I want to do? And then he just goes for it. And I think in that moment, that's where he made his decision of, I'm not going to be Captain America. I'm going to be my own person. And that happens to be a bad guy.
I didn't take it as that, but I only watched it once. I know you've rewatched it, so you probably picked up on more than I did. My first reaction was just that he genuinely was so, like, the serum, I think, just made his grief and made his anger and all that frustration. He's been frustrated this entire show because he's been, you know, trying to be the new Captain America. I think, to me, I thought it was just him losing his mind and genuinely just like losing it. But I think you have a good point. Christina also agrees with you, Morgan. I mean, I'd have to rewatch it to probably pick up on all the stuff you did a good job of picking up on.
Going crazy. Like, he's now fully lost it. Like, he's not, like, I think he knew there was no going back to trying to be like America. So he's like, I might as well just go for it and be my own person. But I do feel that it's very ironic that kid died from the shield, because earlier in the episode when him and Carly are at the cemetery, he said that
he used to look up to Captain America.
He loved Captain America. And and that's exactly
I forgot about that.
I did too.
And I was crying when it happened. I was like, no.
He is disrespectful. I mean, it's just a horrible situation. I will say I wanted to do one comment that I thought was good, and it relates to a lot of people in this show. Hang on, I think I missed it. Where did it go? That comment. Okay, I don't know where it went, but I thought it was a comment Jake put on here, and it was saying something about them being about them being like, we've been seeing superheroes and how superheroes handle things, and I think we'd even talked about this before about Steve, about how Steve was just such like almost his perfect, he always almost was like, he tried to always make the right decision, and almost to a point where it was not human, because people make mistakes, and like my boy Tony, people make mistakes. And that's kind of what Jake, I think, was saying, and that comment I can't find was, like with Carly and like with Walker and all of our like other characters, I think we're seeing people make very human mistakes. Even Zemo, people who make decisions on things, very emotional decisions, and they're not like superheroes. I think you have to think about the greater good, and you're thinking of the bigger picture. And these people aren't thinking of that. They're thinking of like their personal experiences and like very emotionally. And I think we're kind of seeing a lot of that this season, which is very interesting.
But I think I like understand that, and people are going to make mistakes. But I think if you're going to like the whole thing with some superheroes like Spider-Man and Captain America and like the OG superheroes, they didn't ask to be a superhero. It just kind of happens, and they stepped into the role. Whereas Walker was asked. He knew what was expected. He knows what he should and shouldn't do. He knows the line, and he still decides to go gallivanting around wherever the heck they are in Europe and just act like he's the boss of it when he's not. Like, you're in another country. Like, I don't even know what's going on. Like, how is the government pulling this off where he can just go to Europe and tell people what to do, like, and not get in trouble? Like, I don't know how the government's pulling that off, but
yeah, I will say, I think I take it as he's a very arrogant, very power hungry, fame hungry person. I do take it as that. What I think happened though, in my mind, and maybe I do feel like we're going to get more backstory. They introduced his girlfriend, and they, especially now that Lamar's dead, I feel like maybe we'll get some flashbacks next episode. I hope we do, to give us a little more context in that. But I feel like, from what they've said about their past in Afghanistan, that he feels like, didn't he say it was something like he got those medals of honor and it was like his worst day or something, and he didn't feel like, I don't know, he felt like they didn't do a good enough job and things like that. And so I feel like he was seen as a war hero. And I almost feel like with some people who, not to get too much into psychology, with some people though who are like super, like the bullies, right? The people who are bullies and are arrogant, and that way they're insecure. And I feel like almost with him, maybe he feels like, he's being seen as this hero, and he has to live up to that. And he puts a lot of pressure, I think, on himself he wants to be that. He wants to be the best. He wants to be this hero. But I don't think he feels like he is, maybe based on what happened in Afghanistan. So I think that's why he, in my opinion, I can see that being why he's a little arrogant and walks around and acts entitled, as he's trying to play that role, even if he doesn't feel like he really deserves it. But I think if we get flashbacks, I think a lot more of that will make sense to us about his backstory, for sure. So Carly killed Lamar this episode, which was kind of a plot twist to me. I did not see that one coming, personally. Carly is a tricky one. I feel like we've already talked about Zemo being kind of, Zemo having some black and white with him. Even Walker having a little bit of that gray, a tiny morsel of the gray area. And then Carly, I think from the beginning, we've known Carly's been kind of one of those gray characters, right? She's done some good, she's done some bad. I think this was one of the better episodes for Carly in the sense of like seeing her development and stuff, I loved the scenes with her and Sam, but I don't know, her killing Lamar. Oh, I know it was an accident. Obviously she did not mean to kill Lamar, but that was just I was so shocked.
I don't know the actor that plays Lamar, but I would like to write him a letter and give him a lesson on how to die in a movie. That was the worst death I've ever seen in any movie. Like,
really?
That's throwing us back to the 50s. Like, that was the worst death. Like, let me just bang against this wall and cock my head. And then when the camera pans back to me, let me cock my head the other way to make them know I'm dead. Like, what?
I need to rewatch this. Apparently, I did not.
I watched that the first time and I was like, what?
Well, I mean, I just figured I didn't know that his head cocked to the other side. I'd have to see that part. I know
it doesn't like go all the way, but he's like here, and then he goes.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Like, okay, clearly he's dead, and then yet there's still question that Walker has to go over and check him, which I also find interesting because they've never done that in another Marvel movie. In any other Marvel movie where someone dies, they just are like, "Yep, you're dead. Okay, let me grieve and move on." Like they don't never go over to check, which I find
I will say without spoilers, because I don't know who has seen this movie and who has not seen this movie, but the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, there's a part in, I believe, the second movie where he's kind of that way with the character, checking, to see when they're obviously
Well, that's not
dead.
a Marvel movie.
Okay.
It's not MCU.
It's not MCU. Like with MCU quality, I feel like you need to know how to die properly.
Okay. Well, they fudged the lines by bringing Spider-Man in. Okay, so I'm not sure.
Only Tom Holland's Spider-Man is considered.
Okay. We'll move on from the Spider-Man. I'm sorry I brought up Spider-Man in this chat. I was about to bring him up earlier too when we were talking about emotionalness and like things like that. But anyways, I'm happy I didn't, because that one was going to be the other Spider-Man. But where was I even going with this? Oh, the dying. I thought it was a good scene with him going over to check. I thought it was realistic. I mean, maybe not in the sense of like MCU, but I mean, for Walker's one of the more human characters we've followed. And I feel like that was, I mean, if it was like me and like my best friend just got pushed up against the wall, and like, I mean, I would probably do the same. I mean, I feel like I would go check and be like, are you okay? Like that kind of thing, I feel like they do it. Christina. We have to acknowledge there are more Spider-Man. Anyways, we'll move on. I'm sorry I brought up Spider-Man. I should have known better. I should have known, but
I just have to say, like, after the last death we had in the MCU was a certain person that makes everyone cry.
Wait, is it not?
I don't want to spoil it if people don't know, but and to go from such a dramatic and impactful death to then that, like, I was like, come on, man. Like, you should, like, the producers should have told him he had to reshoot that. And if that's the best he could do, I don't know. I've never seen this actor before, so I don't know what else he's capable of, but maybe it's just not drama.
I'll defend the guy. I don't think he was that bad. I will say I don't feel like they gave him enough time of day. Even like with Walker, we've seen bits and pieces of Walker, but not even that. Walker hasn't even been in this that much, because we just had so many working. We've had Carly, we've had Zemo, we've just had 1,000,001 things go. Sharon, we've had so much go on in this like 4 episodes. Like we still haven't seen the little man that's Bucky's friend. We haven't seen him since episode 1. I still lose sleep over that guy.
I know.
I hope they wrap that up.
I listen, in 2 episodes, if there is not a wrap up for that, I will be mad. I will be pissed. I'll be like, why did you put me through such anguish that first episode for there to be nothing? Like,
well, they brought back his sister. They brought back Sam's sister, which I was happy about, because I was very annoyed that we had all these random characters come in the first episode. And I was like, well, are they going to continue with these characters or not? And they didn't continue with her into the second and third episodes, and I was very annoyed that we spent a whole episode introducing all these side characters that are most of them we haven't gone back to.
That was kind of WandaVision. WandaVision was the same way. I mean, we met people at the beginning that you thought were going to be in that. Like, there was some people we saw like one time, and they seemed like they were going to be a big part of the show, and then they weren't. And I'm like, well, then why did we? I mean, I guess it wasn't wasted time for WandaVision, but I'm like, why did I waste this effort theorizing about these people when they're not even in the stupid show? But I do think most of our characters we've seen, I do think will come back. I want to say this real quick. My like dream ending for Bucky and that old man is for Bucky to tell him and the old man to hug him. Will it happen? No, it will not. But I want the old man to be like Uncle Iroh on Avatar: The Last Airbender and just be like, it's okay, Zuko, it's okay. Like that kind of thing, where he just accepts Bucky. But I mean, realistically, that's not going to happen. Like, he killed his son. I feel like over time he can understand if he knew the backstory. But yeah. Anyways, that was my little headcanon of what I want to happen, but will not happen. I'll probably cry.
It won't. It won't, sadly.
No.
I think they'll come back to him, but I don't think that's because he doesn't know the backstory and it's not necessarily like completely public, I don't think. So sadly, I don't think he'll understand.
What I would also love as an ending for that storyline would be maybe Bucky writing him a letter and explaining it.
I can see it.
That to me would probably be the best ending, because like Bucky leaving and moving somewhere else, like away from this man, and just writing him a letter and being like, you know, this is what happened. Oh wait, oh no, I've started a Spider-Man war in the comments. Why must all of my chat start civil wars in the comments? I'm sorry. Usually over something that we're not talking about.
Apparently there needs to be like just a Spider-Man chat and like debate on which Spider-Man's your faves.
Yeah, come on, Kaylee, get on it.
I mean, I only have like 1,000,001 things I'm trying to do. I'm so unorganized. It's just how
you just let me know, and I will come and defend Tom Holland to the end.
Well, my goal is for these lives. My goal is to oh, by the way, I'm supposed to do my giveaway thing. Don't let me forget about that, because I would totally forget. So don't let me leave this before I do my giveaway winner. But what I was saying is, so like after this is over, I think I have a month before Loki comes on. So I was going to try to get through some of the movies, the Marvel movies, but stupid editing. I was editing my Iron Man reaction, and I'm pretty sure the footage is like, it's gone missing when I like broke my computer, and I'm like, so that's kind of halted me. But while I'm here, really quickly before we wrap it up on final thoughts of this episode, I want to go ahead and do the giveaway, because I will forget for the life of me. So if you guys did not know, I held a giveaway for a WandaVision Funko Pop on my YouTube and Instagram. And I got like, let's see, there's 268 entries. I know Steve is excited. I know Steve wants to win for sure.
Steve does.
Okay,
I want to win.
268 total are in here. So I have, let me see if I can share my screen. Hang on. Share. I'm trying to be all like fancy and do this correctly. Okay. So I have the random number generator here. What did I say it was? Like 268. Okay, so 268. So minimum is 1. Max is 268. Okay. The moment of truth. Our winner is 103, which is Belma9379, which I think is off of Instagram. So I will let her know. Thank you to everyone who entered. It was a tough thing up.
Darn.
It was a tough competition, guys. It was a tough competition. But yeah, I will have more in the future for sure. But that is the winner of the little bobblehead. Like I said, I'll let her know on Instagram, because I don't think she entered on YouTube. So yeah, anyways, I thought this episode was really good overall. I know Morgan said it was her favorite episode. I think it was up there for me. I don't think it was my favorite. But I liked all the moving parts in it, that's for sure. So my kind of ending question for this is, where do you think we're going from here? Like, what do you think the next episode is going to hold? And like, who do you guys think is going to be the big bad at the end? Like, I'm curious about that. Who's going to be the big bad of this season? Are we going to have more than one? Like, I don't know. Is there going to be a big bad?
People.
Yeah, but like, I feel like there had like, I feel like there has to be like a big bad. I don't know. I could be
You
wrong.
don't think any of them are big enough?
Well, they're no. I'm just saying, like, I don't know who the one is. You know what I mean? Like, who's the one that's the biggest bad as the baddest? April, I'll start with you. Go ahead. What do you think is coming next episode, and who do you think is going to be like our big bad?
So
hey Emma.
There's Emma. You want to come say hi? No, okay. She's refilling her water bottle.
Okay.
So I think next episode we will see Walker's backstory, because I mean I feel like that's what's leading to it. The government will try to like cover this up somehow, or not really cover it, but like you'll see repercussions on it.
Bad Walker.
Pretty much. Big bad. I kind of feel like Walker's going to end up joining the Flag Smashers, maybe, or somehow there's going to be some kind of something. And the power broker, I feel like, was originally, this is my theory, it's originally Zemo, but since Zemo was locked up, Sharon found that empty kind of nest and kind of took over that. And she's known Zemo's the power broker, and maybe that's why all of a sudden they looked for the serum. Not sure, but that's my theory. And I want more Bucky, and I want more Falcon, and I want to see Falcon with the shield. It's just not enough yet. Marvel needs to fix that. I need them with the shield. Like the whole trailer where they're training with the shield and stuff. I haven't got it, and I'm so angry about it. You want to say hi? No? Okay.
I just love Emma, like, walking in the background.
There she is.
Oh, hey, Emma.
You say hi? No? Okay. You're okay. I'm just saying. Thank you.
What about you, Morgan?
So I disagree. I think now Walker associates the Flag Smashers with the death of Lamar. Although I have a feeling this is not the last we've seen of Lamar. I don't think he's truly gone or dead, even though he looks pretty dead, apparently. But I think he's going to somehow, some way, find a way to bring him back. I think he is going to become a very bad. I think that he's gonna just start spiraling from here, and it's gonna be up to Sam, Bucky, and I think they're gonna team up with Carly to take him down and take the shield away from him. I would really like Bucky to end up with the shield. I don't think Bucky's ready for that. He hasn't made amends with his past yet, so I think Sam will end up with the shield. And then I think the power broker is what's going to lead us into something next. I don't think it's going to be, I think we're going to find out who it is. I don't think it's Zemo. I think it's Sharon. And I think that's what they're going to leave us with at the end.
What if it's Loki?
No.
It probably wouldn't be, but that would be hilarious if it was.
It's definitely not.
Yeah. I agree with Jake. I think my kind of thought is going forward, I think they are going to show some flashbacks, and we're going to maybe get a little bit more of Walker. But I can see Walker being kind of the new big bad, I guess. Or, we didn't like him, but
yeah,
I can see him kind of being the one at the end of the day that is the big bad of the season. I don't think Bucky will get the shield. And I don't think Bucky wants the shield, for himself. I don't think he wants it. I think he wants Sam to have it because that's who Steve wanted to have it. And like you said, though, even if Bucky wanted it, or like if they gave it to Bucky, Bucky's not in a mindset or a place where he's going to be able to fill that role. But yeah, I feel like the power broker, I don't know. I was set on Sharon last episode. I still kind of think Sharon this episode. Zemo, it would be very interesting if Zemo, it's kind of like what you said, April, like if Zemo was in prison and then like Sharon just like kind of took over that kind of dynamic. But like I can't imagine seeing Zemo and Sharon work together. I really can't. It's kind of an odd thing for me. I'm just interested, honestly, overall, to see what happens with Zemo. Like I have no really good prediction on what's going to happen there. But I'm very interested to find out. Jake said that he thinks that Carly might end up helping Falcon and Bucky, which I think so too.
I also have to add this in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see Carly living to the end of the season. I don't see her living to the end. I have a feeling something's going to happen and she's going to end up dead.
I don't know. She's like a 50-50 for me. I think if she died, it would either be dying doing something for the cause, like she, went out doing something that she thought was right, or Walker kills her. Like I feel like it's going to go one or two
I think it's going to end up in a huge battle between Sam, Bucky, Carly on one side and Walker on the other, and he's going to end up killing her right before the end of the battle. Like I think that's what's going to end up happening, and she's going to end up being a casualty. And it's going to show Sam that he really needs to take this shield. And I think that's what's going to push Sam to the point of picking up the shield.
Yeah. I definitely do think at where we ended, I think Walker, Morgan, like you said, I think he's against the Flag Smashers now even more than he was before. He was already not wanting to, show mercy really with them. But even more now, I mean, when he killed Carly's boyfriend, like obviously Carly's boyfriend, he was fighting him, but like he didn't kill Lamar. So like he just killed someone who didn't even kill Lamar. But I feel like he's definitely gonna be gunning for Carly. So I could see him killing Carly or like trying to, and that being that mashup, that like battle, I feel like is gonna have to happen at some point. Obviously because I feel like he's that kind of person that's like really like he's going to want to like avenge Lamar. And now I will say, I don't think Lamar's coming back. That's my personal, I think Lamar's dead and done. That's my thing. I don't think they're bringing him back. I think he'll come back in our flashbacks, but that's about it. I'll tell you what, Morgan, if you're right about that theory, like I will never doubt a single theory you have ever again. Cause that, I mean, you have a lot of good theories. I was like, if that one happens, I will always just say whatever Morgan says is correct.
I think he's gonna find a way to bring him back. Like I don't see him staying. Like he's gonna find some way somehow. Because I've heard that in the comics. Because I had to look this guy up when he was first introduced. Because I just knew when they first introduced that he had a best friend. I was like, oh, he's gonna die somehow, some way, and it's gonna be like a Cat Bucky thing all over again. And I just knew that was going to happen. And so I have a feeling they're going to find some way, somehow, Walker is going to find a way to bring him back.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, if that happens, girl,
in the comics, he's supposed to be a super soldier. Battlestar has the serum in him. So
well, didn't Walker only find one serum though?
Yes.
Right? And he took it.
So they might not be going that way, but like in the comics, that's what he's supposed to do. And he's supposed to train new people to take over the Captain America style. He trains people in the battle style of Captain America. So I don't know if we'll see that next episode in flashbacks, but I think it would be really cool if Lamar took the serum, because I think I would love to see that.
That would be a plot twist. Aw, how sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Before we leave, I'll go ahead and ask you guys what you have coming up on your channel. So Morgan, go ahead.
So I was supposed to have a haul Saturday yesterday. YouTube, things happened on YouTube where it did not go out. So it will be going out tomorrow for a haul Saturday on Monday. And then I have a Bippity box. My whole schedule's right here. And then I have a giveaway coming out within the next week.
It sounds like a lot of fun. And your channel is Teaching Disney. I feel like most everyone in the chat is already subscribed to you. But yes. And then go ahead, April. What you got coming on?
So we are going to Disney in 15 days. So I've bought a bunch of things kind of to prepare for our trip, and I'm doing a lot of hauls on that. Of course, I have the DIYs going. I think that's about it. Oh, Year of the Ear is next Sunday, so that's super exciting. I always love that and stuff like that. So pretty excited about that one. And that's about it.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. And thank you everyone that joined in the chat. I hope you have a great night too, Christina. And if you guys can stay for just 1 second after I end it, I have to ask you guys a question. But thank you guys so much for coming. I will be back next week. I also have, for my channel, I am working on doing 1 video a week. I'm finally getting my editing back. And I have an announcement coming this week. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and we have to end with Jake's nice comment of the chat. He says, Morgan, you're awesome and beautiful. April, you're a nice person and funny. And Kaylee, you make this world a better place to live in. Jake, you're like a little mascot. We love you.
You're the best,
You're
Jake.
the best.
You're always
You're the best.
so sweet.
Always the MVP of